Tonight, as CBS 42 honors Black History Month, we take a trip way down south in Birmingham. South in Alabama. Those lyrics in a song from yesterday about a place still there today. Tuxedo Junction is merely a shadow of its old self. But if walls could talk the way Erskine Hawkins made his trumpet sing, this place for one city councilor would once again be a place where the town folk meet. It's a junction connecting us to an era of music, a sense of community, and a piece of Black music history to this day.
This is a true story about an 85-year-old song, Erskine Hawkins' Tuxedo Junction. A story still being told by local jazz artists like Jose Carr at his Tuesday night jam session in Crestwood. I met up with Carr at the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame when he reminisced about the times he played with Erskine Hawkins.
But I played in the big band when they brought him here. At least I know I played with him at least 4 or 5 years because we used to go out to Tuxedo Junction in the instrument.
That's where a silhouette of Erskine Hawkins now stands, steps away from the place that inspired the man known as the 20th century Gabriel. Of all the songs to his credit, it was Tuxedo Junction that had his heart.
Well, there's one of the most popular numbers in the country today, Tuxedo Junction, one of Erskine's own compositions, and incidentally, that's going to be his theme song from now on, he tells me.
Big band artist Glenn Miller recorded the song a year later after Erskine Hawkins, William Johnson, and Julian Dash penned this tune in 1939 about a place that was a hub of entertainment for blacks in Birmingham.
20th Street and Inslee Avenue, the junction for the streetcar line, Tuxedo Junction, is where they met.
Historian Barry McNeely.
As we're talking about the Nixon building in Tuxedo Junction on the 2nd floor, we also have to think about the colored Masonic temple that was on 4th Avenue. And so both of those buildings were known for hosting some of the biggest artists of the day,
including the Erskine Hawkins Orchestra and that memorable song about Tuxedo Junction. It's located in Birmingham City Councilor Carol Clark's district.
I don't really think the area really feels like much of the song anymore.
How do you translate Erskine Hawkins then to Erskine Hawkins today to your constituents?
Well, we do come back. We gather sort of to pay homage to, the place, Tuxedo Junction, that was memorialized in his song.
And then there's the function in the junction that's held the 3rd Saturday in July. It's been going on for more than 30 years.
It was spearheaded by Magnolia Cook, who was then the Tuxedo neighborhood president. We're proud of her for that. And sometimes I think, the push, jazz is not really popular music anymore, so it's very hard to preserve that heritage.
And it's not just big band music like Tuxedo Junction that Clark believes should be preserved, but also Tuxedo Junction, the place.
Some sort of plan, redevelopment plan that leverages the historicity of this site and the Holy Family campus and other cultural and historic assets in Old Inslee.
She thinks perhaps incorporating the area into new plans for Village Creek Park.
I think all of those things taken together could really be a catalyst to lift this area.
And return a certain pride to Tuxedo Junction.
When you think of the lyrics of Tuxedo Junction, you think of this city that was really jumping. And when people think of Birmingham, they do think of our past and they think of the racial animus, but Tuxedo Junction reminds us that there was also joy that existed in this city during that time period.
A joy that still comes over Carol Clark when it comes to this famous song, which has had many covers over the years. Her favorite is one from Laura Washington.
With her syncopation, it would be dance the night away.